Fans, welcome to Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs Baseball. I'm Pete Pagliaro, bringing you all the action here tonight. It is the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs against the Saugerties Stallions, the defending champs. And we are on the air, courtesy of Creative Outpost. And we are ready to play this perfect game collegiate matchup between the Saugerties Stallions, 2-0 on a season, and the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs, 2-1. First, let's go through the lineups here. First for the Saugerties Stallions, in center field is number 49, Jack Beal. The DH is number 11, Steven Ramirez. At shortstop is number 17, Nick Croce. First baseman for the Stallions is number 37, Chance Sobry. Third baseman is number 18, Jaden Hamilton. The catcher, number 36, is Jaden Tolinto. In left field is number 51, Magnus Krieger. Second baseman is number 20, Aiden Schmidt. At extra hitter is number 10, Cooper Schmidt. The right fielder for the Stallions is number 16, Mason Gasway. And pitching tonight for the Saugerties Stallions is number 48, Brandon Rushnick. And that's your lineups for the Saugerties Stallions. The Stallions are coached by Colin Martin. For the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs tonight, it is center fielder Eric Diaz. In right field is Jake Hard. The shortstop is Brian Arias. The DH tonight is Brody Freaker. At second base for the Dogs is Nolan Colby. The catcher tonight is Joe Crenshaw. First baseman Wesley Alfonso. Your third baseman tonight for the Dogs, Harsh Ramayan Venkat. And the left fielder is Kyle Coleman. On the mound tonight for Mohawk Valley is a right-hander, Ali Wood. So Ali Wood will start things off here tonight for Mohawk Valley. Hood, taking his few last warm-ups here tonight before we are ready to go on this perfect game collegiate league matchup between two teams here in the top division of the East. The Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs at 2-1, and your champs for the 2025 season, Saugerties Stallions, at 2-0. The Dogs coming off a 5-4 loss in Utica. That was a Monday. It was a morning game, a 10 a.m. start for the Dogs, losing that game just barely 5-4. Looking to get back on the winning track here are the DiamondDawgs as they take their final warm-up tosses. The Dogs wearing their traditional uniforms here at home, the dark tops, dark hunter green tops with the black lettering and the white trim, and they are wearing the white pants. So the champs from Saugerties waiting the last couple warm-up tosses from Ali Wood before they take the field here to start off the ball game, and here they come. And the Stallions wearing those charcoal black tops with the dark gray uniforms, and they are ready to go here at Vets Memorial Park in Little Falls as we await the first pitch here from Ali Wood to get things started here tonight at Vets Memorial Park. Oh, and I said it wrong again. Here's the windup and the pitch from Hood. And strike one to start things off. So no balls and one strike to Jack Beal. Beal, number 49, the center fielder, a right-hander here for the Stallions. Here's the windup and the pitch outside by Hood. And the count now even at 1-1. So a ball and a strike here to Jack Beal. It'll be Jack Beal, Steven Ramirez, and Nick Croce all due up here in the top of the first inning for the Stallions. Here's the windup and the pitch by Hood. And that is a ball two in the count now, 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Folks who may be watching on the stream might recognize a guy out there in the umpire uniform on the first base line. There's Coach Giaruzzi from Notre Dame. So always fun to see Coach Giaruzzi here in the house, still doing baseball, still umpiring. As those who know people in the baseball community, Coach Giaruzzi is very involved in baseball for many, many years. 3-1 pitch, here it comes. And there is a call, strike 2, and the count 3-2. And I can't start the broadcast without putting congratulations out to some local teams who won sectional titles. How about the boys from New Hartford winning a section title, and also the boys from Notre Dame winning their section last night as well. And there is a walk to start things off from Jack Beal. And Steven Ramirez, now the batter for the Stallions. Ramirez, the DH, number 11. He bats from the left side of the plate, and he is ready here to face Ali Hood with nobody out, runner on first. And that's popped foul by Ramirez in the count 0-1. So great baseball being played all over the Mohawk Valley in the last couple days as part of the sectional tournament being played right at Utica. It was after the games played by the Utica Blue Sox and the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs. Those games continued there at Murnane Field at Donovan Stadium. 1-1 count to Steven Ramirez. Runner on first base is Jack Beal. Beal taking a few steps off the base, being held on by the first baseman for the Dogs. That is Wesley Alfonso. Here's the pitch by Hood, and runner takes off. Here's the throw by Crenshaw, and safe at second. So a stolen base by Jack Beal, and now he is at second base to start the ball game here with nobody out, and a 1-1 count. And Coach Luby out to talk to the umpire behind the plate. Imagine he's pointing at the catcher, so I'm not sure if he's talking maybe some interference on the throw. Crenshaw looking on. He's the catcher. A little chat between the coach and the umpire. Respect between the both of them, just talking it over. And looks like the discussion is all over with, and we're good to go here. And so we'll reset things here with a runner on second base for Saugerties at a 1-1 count to Steven Ramirez. Ali Hood, the pitcher, on the mound for Mohawk Valley. Hood, a right-handed pitcher. And here comes the windup and the 1-1 pitch from Hood. And that one misses for a called strike two. And the count now 2-2 correction. We were waiting for a correction on the scoreboard there. 2-2 as we get the word from the umpire behind the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs, runner on second, taking a short lead. Here's the pitch. And they're going to check, see if he went. No, he did not. And the count now full at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Ramirez. Nick Croce on deck here for the Stallions. No score here, top of the first inning from Veterans Park in Little Falls, Vets Memorial Park, Little Falls, New York. Perfect game, Collegiate Baseball League action. That's outside for ball 4. So the second walk of the game from Ali Hood. So runners on first and second to start things off here in this ball game between the Stallions and the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs. So Nick Croce, the shortstop, number 17, now the batter for the Stallions, but not before some landscaping work done by the umpire, just cleaning off home plate, making sure it's pearly white. And it looks like home plate is good. And Croce will step back in the box. The right-handed batter is Croce to face the righty in Hood. Hood looks at that runner at second, keeping him close. Here's the pitch. Big swing and a miss by Croce for strike 1. The count 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. So Dogs off to a good start this season. 2-1 on the year, hitting the ball well. Same for the Stallions, off to a 2-0 start, are the champs. No balls and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Right down the center of the plate to Croce. And ahead now in the count is Ali Hood. 0-2 to Nick Croce. Chance Sobry on deck for the Stallions. But no balls and 2 strikes. Runners on first and second, taking short leads, and now the runner takes off. And here's the throw to third, and the throw is high. And runner safe at second and third. So runners advance now to second and third. The count 1-2 to Croce. So quickly, runners in scoring position here for the Stallions here in the top of the first. As Ali Hood with no outs looking to work his way out of this here. 1-2. Wind up and the pitch. And that is stopped by Crenshaw in the dirt. And that evens the count at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Croce. Croce is the shortstop for the Stallions. Again, wind blowing today, same way it's been blowing for all these games thus far here for the season, right to left. Been pretty consistent to start the season here. There's a swing and a miss by Croce, so he will strike out for out number 1 from Allie Hood. That's the first strikeout of the game for Hood, and the first out of the game for the Stallions. So Chance Sobry now, the first baseman, a left-handed batter, is going to step up to the batter's box to face Allie Hood. So Hood looks in. Again, he's got runners on second and third here with 1 out. Hood looks in, winds and delivers outside, stopped by Crenshaw, and the count 1-0. So Hood comes to the front of the pitcher's mound, get that ball back from his catcher, and now he's back on the top of the mound on the rubber, ready to go. Looks in to get his sign from his catcher. He's all set. 1-0 pitch on its way from Hood. And it went in the dirt, actually hits him, and takes a big bounce, and the count now, well, there is no count because bases are loaded. So Chance Sobry will walk, being hit by the pitch. And now the DiamondDawgs a little bit of a jam here with bases loaded as Allie Hood is on the mound. He's going to get a chat from his coach as the entire infield will come in to talk on the mound. So a conference on the mound, and Coach Luby out there sharing some words of wisdom with his pitcher. At this point, bases are loaded. He's probably telling him, listen, just throw strikes, worry about your defense, and they will take care of it behind you. So 1 out, bases are loaded. No score still here in the top of the first. So this trip to the mound brought to you by News Channel 2, where the news comes first. And the conference on the mound is over, and Coach Luby walking a straight line back to the umpire. Maybe he's going to have a word with him. I'm not sure. And no, he's going to veer away. And Joe Crenshaw makes his way back to the plate, and everybody back in position and ready to go. So with 1 out, bases are loaded here for the Stallions. Jaden Hamilton, the third baseman, a right-handed batter for the Stallions, is at the plate. Here's the pitch by Hood, and called strike 1. So no balls and 1 strike from Hood to Hamilton. So should Hamilton reach, the catcher Jaden Tolinto is on deck. 0-1. Here's Hood, and his inside almost hit him, and the count 1-1. A 1 ball and 1 strike. Dogs looking to get out of this inning here. They found themselves in a little bit of a jam here with bases loaded. But Allie Hood, looking to work his way out of it. 1-1. Here's the pitch, and it's hit on the ground, fouled on the third base line. And the count 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. A 1-2 count here to Jaden Hamilton. Here's the pitch. And there's a call, strike 3. He strikes out. The second strikeout of the inning for Allie Hood. A strikeout looking for Jaden Hamilton, and that is out number 2. So Jaden Tolentino, now the batter, another right-hander here for the Stallions. Dogs looking to get out of this here, just 1 out away with 2 outs. And right down the middle for call, strike 1 to Tolentino. And 0-1. Tolentino is the catcher, number 36 for the Stallions. 0-1 as Allie Hood sets. And he will wind and deliver on the 0-1. And that one is popped up. The shortstop is backing up, and he will make the catch. Will Brian Arias and the dog get out of the big jam here? The bases were loaded for the Stallions. No run score. We head to the bottom of the first, no score here at Vets Park. Back after this.
We know pools. Garrity Pools and Spa are the experts in building and creating backyard memories for thousands of families. Garrity takes pride in offering only the highest quality in-ground Pacific pool and radiant above-ground pools that are built for upstate New York weather. Garrity offers only the best with BioGuard chemicals to keep your pool sparkling clean. Visit the professionals at Garrity Pools and Spa, 234 South Caroline Street, Herkimer, or GarrityPools.com. We know pools. Garrity Pools and Spa are the experts in building and creating backyard memories for thousands of families. Garrity takes pride in offering only the highest quality in-ground Pacific pool and radiant above-ground pools that are built for upstate New York weather. Garrity offers only the best with BioGuard chemicals to keep your pool sparkling clean. Visit the professionals at Garrity Pools and Spa.
And we are back, folks. It is the bottom of the first inning. We are scoreless here at Vets Park as the Stallions loaded the bases in the top of the first, but Ali Hood worked his way out of it. And we are scoreless here in the bottom of the second. So Brendan Rushnack takes his last few warm-up tosses for the Stallions. And we are ready to go as Eric Diaz will come to the plate to lead things off here for the Dogs. Diaz has 2 home runs on the season. Left-handed batter is Diaz. It'll be Diaz, Jake Hard, and Brian Arias up here in the inning. So here we go. Here's Diaz at the plate and the pitch. And that one is popped foul, and the count 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to the center fielder, Eric Diaz. Diaz steps out momentarily. Now back in the box, ready to go is Diaz. 0-1 now the count. There's the windup and the pitch. Big swing and a miss by Diaz for strike 2. And the count now 0-2. So no balls and 1 strike, 2 strikes as Diaz steps back into the box. An interesting little move by Diaz as he taps his left thigh before he bats. Kind of different. Part of his routine, and that one's fouled off, and the count remains 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. So Diaz steps out, makes some adjustments to his batting gloves before he makes his way back in here with an 0-2 count. Taps the bat on his cleats and is ready to go. 0-2, here's the windup, the pitch, and the ball hit on the ground to first base. And the first baseman scoops it up and steps on the bag. And Diaz tripped a little bit, may have rolled his ankle a tad. Hopefully he's okay. So Jake Hard, now the batter. So Diaz looks to be in a little bit of pain. And it looks like he is looking at his foot, and he's wobbling a little bit, trying to shake it off. Athletic trainer out on the field looking at Diaz momentarily. And it looks like it's his right foot that he's paying attention to. Looks like it might be a toe. Well, he's going to walk it off, and hopefully he'll remain in the lineup. He'll have a little bit of a limp, but looks like picking up his bat, and he may be okay. 0-0, no count. Oh, he fouled it off? Oh, all right. So that was fouled off by Diaz. I thought he grounded it out, actually. But he's back, ready to go. 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. And there's a swing and a miss. So he strikes out, does Diaz. And Jake Hard now will come to the plate. So Jake Hard, the right fielder for the Dogs. A right-handed batter will face the righty in Brandon Rusnick. Rusnick looks in. And he's going to wind and deliver. And delivers a strike down the middle for the count of 0-1. No balls and 1 strike here to Hard, the right fielder. Here is the windup and the pitch. And a little chopper to second base. Second baseman's going to scoop it, throw across. And that is good for out number 2. So Jake Hard with a ground out for the second out of the inning. And Brian Arias now will come to the plate. So Brian Arias now the batter for Mohawk Valley. Arias the shortstop here for the Dogs. Left-handed batter is Arias, ready to face Brendan Rushneck. Rushneck looks in. He's going to wind and deliver. And puts it down the middle for a called strike 1. So no balls and 1 strike here to Brian Arias. 0-1 the count, nobody on, 2 outs. Bottom of the first here. Here's the pitch. And there's a swing and a miss for strike 2. And now ahead in the count is Rushneck 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes. Arias back in the box, ready to go. Rushneck looks in, puts his glove up, and now will wind and deliver on the 0-2 pitch. Puts it in the dirt for a ball on the count 1-2. So a ball and 2 strikes. One-two pitch now on its way from Rushneck. And a little chopper hit to the second baseman. Scoops it, throws on over. And a quick 1-2-3 inning for the Dogs. So no score. And the Dogs and Saugerties are tied 0-0 after 1 inning complete. Back after this.
Wake up and smell the sizzle at your local Burger King. Burger King is open for breakfast 7 days a week. Your mornings deserve the royal treatment. So dive in to try our delicious breakfast sandwiches, savor our savory hash browns, and wash it all down with a hot or iced coffee. Whether it's Monday or Sunday, we've got your breakfast cravings covered. Swing by BK today to have it your way. You rule at participating U.S. restaurants during breakfast hours.
And welcome back, fans, for the top of the second inning. And we still remain scoreless here in Mohawk Valley between the Saugerties Stallions and the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs. So Magnus Krieger, now the batter here for the Stallions here in the top of the third. Allie Hood winds and delivers, and that has popped up into foul territory in the count. 0-1 here to Krieger. But no balls and a strike here to Krieger. It'll be Krieger, Aiden Schmidt, and then Cooper Schmidt. So the Schmidt boys back-to-back in the lineup here for the Stallions. Here's the windup and the pitch. Outside for ball 1, and the count 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike to the left fielder, Krieger. Krieger, a right-handed batter for the Stallions. 1-1 pitch, here it is. And that is popped foul. And the count remains 1-2 now. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Krieger. And Krieger will make his way back to the home plate area after fouling that one off with a 1-2 count. Allie Hood winds now and delivers for the Dogs. And down low for ball 2 in the count, 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gorgeous night here for baseball in the Mohawk Valley and Little Falls. A little bit of a breeze. Not too hot, not too cold. Perfect for baseball. There's a swing and a miss by Krieger. He strikes out for out number 1.
Second baseman number 20 from Embry-Riddle College, Aiden Schmidt.
So Aiden Schmidt now, the second baseman number 24. The Stallions, a right-handed batter, will come to the plate to face Hood. Hood shakes one off. And now looks in, stares in. Likes what he sees, delivers the pitch. And just missing, hitting Schmidt. So 1-0 after the near miss hit and the count 1-0 with 1 out. So ball and no strikes here to Schmidt. Outside, and the count jumps to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. As Hood struggling a little bit to find the strike zone, but he has struck out 3 already tonight. Couple walks. Here's the windup and the pitch. Right down the middle. Called strike 1. So 2 balls and a strike here. To Aiden Schmidt. And on deck is Cooper Schmidt. 2-1. There's the windup, the pitch. And they're going to check to see if he went. And they say he did not. And the count now 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike here. 3-1 pitch. And the call, strike, a little delayed call there. And the count 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes here. Full count to Schmidt with 1 out. Here's the windup, the pitch, swing and a miss. And he strikes out for out number 2.
The Stallions extra hitter number 10 from Embry-Riddle College, Cooper Schmidt.
So here's Cooper Schmidt, number 10, the extra hitter. Cooper Schmidt, a left-handed batter, so switches sides here. With 2 outs and nobody on. Top second, no score. Here's the pitch. Outside corner, called strike. And the count 0-1. No balls and 1 strike here to Cooper Schmidt. Here's the pitch by Hood. And that one a ball. And the count even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Cooper Schmidt digs in, ready to go. Here is Allie Hood with the pitch. A little blooper might cause problems for the shortstop. And he is safe at first base as shortstop didn't charge that one that hard. Waited for it to come to him, and that resulted in the runner to be safe. So Mason Gasway, the right fielder, now the batter here for Saugerties with 2 outs. Back to first base goes Hood, and the runner getting back quickly. So Gasway is the batter, awaiting the first pitch here from Hood as he checked the runner at first base. 2 outs, runner on first. Here's the pitch, and that one is popped up. First baseman calling everybody off, and Alfonso will make the catch for the final out of the inning. So a quick inning for the Stallions as Gasway pops out to end the inning. We remain scoreless here in Little Falls, bottom of the second coming up. And fans, we are back here, bottom of the second inning. We are scoreless here. And at number 19 for the Dogs comes to the plate. That is Brody Freaker. So Freaker will lead things off here for the DiamondDawgs here in the bottom of the second. It'll be Freaker, Colby, and Crenshaw. First pitch to Freaker, missing down low for a ball, the count 1-0. So Brody Freaker, 1 home run on the season. Faces a 1-0 count here. Here's the windup and the pitch. And grounder to third base, gets past him. And that is good for a single for Brody Freaker. And that is the first hit of the ball game for Mohawk Valley. And that comes way of Brody Freaker. So Nolan Colby now the batter for Mohawk Valley. Colby a left-handed bat, I'm sorry. Runner on first base, nobody out. Bottom of the second. Here comes the pitch to Colby. And a little chopper high. And second baseman scoops it, throws over to the first baseman. And out at first. And that moves the runner over to second. So a fielder's choice for Colby moves the runner over to second base. And Joe Crenshaw now will come to the plate with 1 out and a runner in scoring position. And that is Freaker at second base. So Joe Crenshaw, the catcher, a right-handed batter for Mohawk Valley, steps into the box here. And Brendan Rushneck delivers the pitch. You may remember the name, folks. Rushneck pitched at Herkimer College, also pitched for the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs. So a familiar place for Rushneck on the mound, just on the other side. 1-0. Here's the pitch. And that is down low for ball 2 in the count, 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. And again, runner on second base taking a few steps off of second. Not being held on momentarily. Second baseman creeping in. Now he creeps back out. And the count 2-0. Here's the pitch. That ball hit hard over the head of the shortstop into left field. Left fielder unable to grab it. And a run will score. So a single for Joe Crenshaw scores a run. And the Dogs jump out ahead first here with a 1-0 advantage in the bottom of the second. So Wesley Alfonso, the first baseman for the Dogs, now will step into the batter's box with a 1-0 advantage, 1 out and a runner on first base. So here's the pitch to Alfonso from Rushneck. Inside and high, ball 1. So Venkat is on deck for the Dogs here. In the bottom of the second, at the plate, Wesley Alfonso. At first base, the catcher is Joe Crenshaw. That ball again hit over the head of the shortstop, almost in the same spot in left field. Again, the left fielder has trouble with it, but the runner's only able to grab 1 base off of it. So another single, and runners now on first and second for the Dogs. So Harsh Ramayana Venkat, our favorite name in the lineup. We'll call him RV when we can. He is at the plate with the 1 out, runners on first and second here. Venkat, the third baseman for Mohawk Valley. Here is Rushneck with a pitch, and that one is popped high into right center field and at the wall. And it is gone. A ground rule double. All right, ground rule double. I thought he was waving his arm around. And a ground rule double for Venkat. And that will score a run and move a runner over to third. And now second and third after the double from Venkat. So that ball must have either rolled or bounced over the fence. I didn't see it, as the umpire was looking at it for a second. Looked like he spun his finger around, and then he put up the 2 signal, signifying a ground rule double. So Kyle Coleman now, the batter with the runners on second and third. Dogs a 2-0 advantage. Still one out here in the bottom of the second. Here's the windup pitch. And that one misses down low and inside for ball one. Coleman, the left fielder, right-handed batter. And he will step into the box again. Runners on second and third, both in scoring position. Big opportunity here for the Dogs. They add some more runs here in the bottom of the second. They already lead 2-0. And that one is popped up to center field. Center fielder backing up at the wall. Gone. Home run. Kyle Coleman clears the bases for the Dogs. A shot to center field. A 3-run home run for Kyle Coleman. And the Dogs jump ahead 5-0. So Kyle Coleman, number 9 in the lineup for the Dogs, a 3-run shot, and the Dogs a 5-0 advantage. How about that for Kyle Coleman? So back to the top of the order we go. Eric Diaz, and timeout's called as the catcher is going to head out to the mound. That is Jaden Tolentino. And also the coach is going to head out there for Saugerties. That is Coach Colin Martin. And a little chat out there as they discuss things over. Umpire giving them some time to chat. You would think he's going to start making that stroll out there soon to break it up. Giving him a lot of time out there. And he's kind of hesitating, hoping he doesn't have to make the trip, but he's going to have to make the walk now. And here he goes. He was hoping maybe he can spare himself the walk, but no. It's halfway there, and then they start walking away. That's what you do. You try to get as much time as you can.
Center fielder, number 14 from Dominican University, Eric Diaz.
So Eric Diaz now the batter for the Dogs. Top of the lineup with just one out. And here is Diaz at the plate. So Diaz obviously okay after taking that foul ball off his foot earlier. He struck out in his first at bat and hits that one in the gap between first and second. And there's a base hit for Eric Diaz, so he shows he is just fine and picks up a single in his second at bat.
Number 4 from Fairfield University, Jake Hard.
So Jake Hard now the batter. Hard grounded out in his first at bat. And he will step into the box here with a runner on first base and just one out. So Dogs looking to pile on some more here. A 5-run inning thus far. Here's the windup and the pitch, and that is high for a ball. So 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0. And that one sails in for ball 2 in the count now, 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. So thus far, Brendan Rushnick struggling in his debut back here at Vets Memorial Park as a member of the opposing team. 2-0. Here's the pitch. And little chopper, big chop high. Pitcher grabs it, throws on over, and got him. So he gets him at first base. So Jake Hard out at first after the ground out back to the pitcher. And Byron Arias now the batter.
Number 17 from Dominican University, Byron Arias.
So here's Arias who grounded out in his first at bat. Again, left-handed bat here is Arias. Runner on second base with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And called strike 1. No balls and 1 strike, 2 outs. Arias taps the plate, signifying he's ready to go. Rushneck looks at the runner at second. He's ready to go. And the pitch misses outside for ball 1. A 1 ball and a 1 strike here to Byron Arias, the shortstop for the Dogs. 1-1. Utica winning 1-0. Amsterdam also ahead. And that one called a strike. The count now 1-2 to Arias. So Rushnick ahead of the count now 1-2. With a runner on second base, 2 outs, and the Dogs a 5-0 lead after a 5-run inning, a 3-run home run by Kyle Coleman. 1-2, and he will step off the rubber, Will Rushnick. So back to second base goes Diaz. Now he steps off. Not being held on at second. 1-2, the pitch. And down and outside for ball 2 in the count now. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Arias. Arias takes a practice swing outside of the box before he makes his way back in. Again, the left-handed batter is Byron Arias. And he faces a 2-2 count here from Rushnick. There's the pitch. And that one's hit to opposite field. A base hit to left field. Here comes the runner. Play at the plate, and out is the call at home plate on a close play, and he is thrown out to end the inning. 5-run score, a 3-run home run for the Dogs, and the Dogs have a 5-0 advantage as we head to the top of the third.
Wake up and smell the sizzle at your local Burger King. Burger King is open for breakfast 7 days a week. Your mornings deserve the royal treatment. So dive in to try our delicious breakfast sandwiches, savor our savory hash browns, and wash it all down with a hot or iced coffee. Whether it's Monday or Sunday, we've got your breakfast cravings covered. Swing by BK today to have it your way. You rule at participating U.S. restaurants during breakfast hours.
Leading off the top of the third for the Stallions, center fielder number 47 from Embry-Riddle, Jack Bale.
And we are back for the top of the third. Dogs with a 5-0 lead. And Jack Bale will lead things off here for the Stallions. Top of the lineup here for the Stallions. And first pitch to Bale is a ball. The count 1-0. He walked. Did Bale in his first attempt here tonight. Pitch number 2. And that one misses for ball 2 in the count now. 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. So if you missed it, a 3-run home run in the bottom of the second by the Dogs, Kyle Coleman from Belmont University. His first home run of the season. And he has given the Dogs a 5-0 lead. And the count now 3-0 here to Jack Bale. It'll be Jack Bale, Steven Ramirez, and Nick Croce all up here in the top of the third inning. Here's the windup and the 3-0 pitch. And there's a call, strike 1, and the count 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike here to Bale. Bale, a right-handed batter facing the righty, and Ali Hood. 3-1 pitch from Hood. Here it comes. And that one left high for ball 4. And the second walk to Jack Bale for the game puts a runner on first base here for the Stallions. So Steven Ramirez now the batter for the Stallions. Ramirez, a left-handed batter. He walked as well in his first at bat. And he's got a runner on first base with nobody out here, down 5-0 in the top of the third. Wind up and pitch by Hood. Down low for ball one, the count 1-0. 1 ball and no strikes. Ramirez, the DH here tonight, wearing number 11 for the Stallions. Again, the Stallions wearing their charcoal tops with the light gray pants for the bottoms. And there's a strike to Ramirez that will even things up at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. And Hood looks over at the runner at first, who's taking a short lead. 1-1 pitch. Here it comes. And runner takes off. Here's the throw by Crenshaw. And the second baseman unable to scoop that one up, and it heads out into center field. Stopped by the center fielder out there is Diaz. And a stolen base for the Stallions. So 2-1 the count. 2-1 count to Steven Ramirez. Here's the 2-1. Here's the pitch. And there's a call strike, and that will even things up at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ramirez. Ramirez, a left-handed batter. 2-2 pitch with the runner taking a short lead at second base. And that one inside. For ball 3 and a full count now to Ramirez with Croce on deck. So a full count here to Steven Ramirez. He digs in at home plate. 3-2. Umpire signified. Makes the sign. Make sure everyone's aware. 3-2 count. Here it comes, folks, from Ali Hood. And that's fouled off by Ramirez. So we'll reset and do it all over again. So 3 balls and 2 strikes here as the batter, Steven Ramirez, digs in at the plate, awaits the pitch from Ali Hood. Hood looks at that runner at second, delivers the pitch, and swing and a miss. And that is strike 3.
Batting for the Stallions, shortstop number 17 from Chipola College, Nick Croce.
So here's Nick Croce. Croce struck out in his first at bat. Right-handed batter is Croce. And he is ready to go as he is at the plate, ready to face Ali Hood. Hood is ready as he looks at that runner at second. And Wine delivers, runner takes off. Here's the throw. And the throw to third. Got him. So thrown out at third base, trying to steal by the catcher for the Dogs, Joe Crenshaw. And just like that, 2 outs now, nobody on. And Croce at the plate. We're waiting for a count here. We're not sure. 1-0. 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes here to Croce. And the windup, the pitch. Right down the center of the plate, called strike 1. So 1 ball and 1 strike here to Croce. Top third, 2 outs. Nobody on here for the Stallions. 5-0 lead, Dogs ahead. That one left high for ball 2. And the count now 2-1 to Nick Croce. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Here is Hood with the pitch. And that one catches the outside corner. The count now 2-2 as Hood evens things up here to Nick Croce, the shortstop. Croce struck out in his last at bat. Hood looking for the same here. 2-2. Here's the pitch. And then it's popped high into left field. Left fielder takes a step back, makes the catch, and that'll do it for the inning. So no runs score, and the score remains Dogs 5, Stallions 0. Bottom of the third coming up.
All right, kids, it's time to follow in the
And welcome back, fans. We have a new pitcher on the mound. We'll get your name momentarily. We're trying to get a number. We know he's a single digit. We just can't tell who it is. And is that number 8? Number 8. Number 8.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Stallions, number 8, Caleb Schwartz. Now batting for your Dogs here in the bottom of the third, the designated hitter number 19 from George Washington University, Brody Fraker.
Who'd you say is pitching?
Caleb Schwartz.
Caleb Schwartz. Schwartz. Now pitching for the Stallions is Caleb Schwartz. So Caleb Schwartz now pitching for Saugerties. So Schwartz from the University of Maine, one of my favorite places is Maine to take a vacation. I love Maine. 1-0 count. Here is the righty Schwartz with the pitch, and there's a strike to count, 1-1. So 1 ball and no strikes, or 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 count. You're in the bottom of the third here. Dogs ahead 5-0. Here's the pitch, and there is called strike 2 in the count now, 1-2. So again, Caleb Schwartz now pitching for the Stallions. And a 1-2 count here for the Dogs. 1-2 pitch on its way, and little chopper. And it's going to be trouble for the third baseman, and unable to make the play. And that is an error. And the runner now safe at first.
Second baseman number 44 from Fairfield University, Nolan Colby.
So Nolan Colby now the batter for the Dogs. Colby, a left-handed bat here for Mohawk Valley, comes to the plate. Nobody out here in the bottom of the third. And the runner on first in a 5-0 lead. And that one is high for ball 1. So 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 pitch from Schwartz on its way. That one missing for ball 2 in the count, 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. So 2-0 the count here to the batter for the Dogs. That is Nolan Colby. And back to first goes Schwartz. Runner gets back quickly, slides back. And Colby patiently awaiting with a 2-0 count at the plate. 2 balls and no strikes, bottom 3. Schwartz sets, winds, and delivers. And that is outside for ball 3. And the count now 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes to the second baseman here, who reached on the fielder's choice in his first at bat. And here's the pitch. Outside corner, call strike 1. The count now 3-1 to Colby. 3 balls and 1 strike here to the second baseman, Nolan Colby. Runner on first, taking a short lead. Here's the pitch. Outside ball 4, and Colby will head on over to first base.
Now batting for your Dogs, catcher number 34 from the University of Richmond, Joe Crenshaw.
So with runners on first and second, Joe Crenshaw now will come to the plate for Mohawk Valley with nobody out and a 5-0 advantage. And here is Crenshaw at the plate. And off the rubber will step the pitcher Schwartz, and we'll reset and do it all over again with Crenshaw at the plate. Schwartz ready to go. Now winds and delivers. And that was they called a balk on the pitcher. And runners now on the second and third. So no pitch on that, as that happened before the pitch. And now We reset the count. So no balls, no strikes. Runners on second and third. That pitch is high for ball one. So 1 ball, no strikes. So a balk called on the pitcher, Caleb Schwartz. Not something you see every day, but you saw it here today, folks. 1-0. Here's the pitch, and that's fouled off on the first base line, and the count now even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike here to catcher Joe Crenshaw. Crenshaw singled in his first at bat here tonight. Runners in scoring position, and that one in the dirt for ball 2. So 2 balls and 1 strike here to the catcher for the Dogs, Joe Crenshaw. 1 spot open at first base. Here's the pitch. And that ball hit hard and sharply to center field. Center fielder at the wall and gone. A home run by Joe Crenshaw deep to center field. A 3-run home run for the Dogs. And that's going to bring the lead to 8-0 for Mohawk Valley. So Joe Crenshaw goes deep for the Dogs. The second home run of the ball game for Mohawk Valley. And the Dogs with a mammoth 8-0 lead here in the bottom of the third. So Joe Crenshaw goes yard deep to center field for a 3-run home run, and Wesley Alfonso now will step into the batter's box with nobody on base for good reason. So nobody out, and the pitch to Alfonso misses down low for ball 1. So the Dogs bats heating up here early in the season as they are on fire here in the first 3 innings. And that one down the middle for a call. Strike the count now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Alfonso. Alfonso with a single in his first at bat here this evening. 1-1 count. Here's the windup and the pitch. And right down the middle called strike 2 in the count now 1-2 to Alfonso. So Venkat on deck for the Dogs. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the third. Alfonso ready to go. A 1-2 count. Here's Schwartz with the pitch. And that one is popped up again to center field. Center fielder backing up at the wall. Gone. A back-to-back home run. Wesley Alfonso takes it yard. It is home run derby here tonight for the Dogs. So the Dogs doing a little home run derby here tonight at Vets Park. A back-to-back home run. The fireworks are on here tonight at Vets Park. So Harsh Venkat will come to the plate, and coming to the mound is the coach, Colin Martin. And what does he have to say? Let's keep the ball in the yard maybe, right? And that's the only message I think he can say right here is keep it in the yard, let your guys do some work for you. Rough start here for Caleb Schwartz. He's going to have to hang in there. And times like this, you just got to shake it off, forget the 2 batters, and start from scratch. So when the conversation is over, he'll find Harsh Ramanyana Venkat at the plate. He doubled in his first at bat. And Venkat would love to continue the derby here. Thus far back to back. Can we go back to back to back here? So Venkat wants to keep up with his peers here. He's going to have to keep up with the Joneses. He's got to put it behind over the fence. So no balls and 1 strike. here's the 0-1 pitch to Venkot. And there's a call strike in the count, 0-2. So Schwartz now ahead in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. And that one hit into left field, past the third baseman. And there's a single base hit for Venkot. And the onslaught continues here for the Dogs in the bottom of the third. So Kyle Coleman, he also hit a 3-run shot earlier in this ball game. And can he do the same and keep up with the tradition here that we're seeing in the inning? So Crenshaw went deep. Alfonso went deep. Venkot singles. And here is Coleman now at the plate. No balls and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And there is ball 1, the count 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike here to Coleman. 1-1 pitch. On its way with a runner on the first base. Back to first base goes the pitcher. Runner slides back quickly. So 1-1 here to Coleman with nobody out. 1-1 pitch, here it is. And that one down the middle for a call, strike 2 in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Coleman. So 1-2. One-two pitch. Down low. 4-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Coleman. And the wind up the pitch. And that ball is hit to left field. And he's going to head to second base is Coleman. And they're going to send the runner home. Here he comes. And safe at home is Venkot. And they add to the lead here for the Dogs. And the score now is 10-0 Mohawk Valley. So we go back to the top of the order with Eric Diaz. So again, nobody out here for the Dogs. Another 5-run inning for Mohawk Valley. If you're playing modified ball, I say 5-run rule here, but not in the PGCBL. Play on. So 10-0 is the score. And here's the pitch. And that one gets away from the catcher, and on runner is going to stay put. And the count is 1-0 to Diaz. And that one is high, gets away, and big bounce, and that's going to allow the runner to make his way to third. And now runner on third base again with nobody out, and a 2-0 count. So 2-0 here the count to Eric Diaz. Diaz has singled and struck out here tonight. Runner on third base here for the Dogs. Nobody out. 10-0 advantage here for Mohawk Valley. And that one can't stick in the glove of the catcher. And the count now 3-0. And there is strike 1 now, and the count 3-1. So 3 balls and a strike here to Diaz. And there is ball 4. And Diaz will take a walk to first base and put runners on the corners at first and third. So Jake Hard, now the batter for Mohawk Valley. And with that, trip to the mound, it looks like we're going to have a new pitcher. And so we will take a break, and we'll be back after this as a new pitcher coming in here for the Saugerties Stallions. And we are back. Jake Hard will lead things off here for the Dogs after the break here. And new pitcher on the mound for the Stallions is Lucas Vargo. Lucas Vargo now pitching for the Stallions. So just to recap, 10-0 is the score. Bottom of the third here in Vets Memorial Park in Little Falls. Runners on first and third for Mohawk Valley. Nobody out. Here is the windup and pitch by Vargo. And there's a called strike. And the count 0-1 to Jake Hard. Hard has grounded out here twice tonight for Mohawk Valley. 0-1 count. Runners on the corners for the Dogs. Looking for more. They put up 5 in the inning already. Up 10-0. And that is popped up. And that is short right field. And right field is going to make the grab. And everyone's going to stay put. And runners on first and third now with 1 out as the pop fly from Jake Hard puts up the first out of the inning for Mohawk Valley. So Brian Arias now the batter for the Dogs. Arias left-handed batter here. And he will come to the plate with runners on the corners for the Dogs. 1 out. Bottom of the third. Here's Vargo, with the pitch. In the dirt. And the catcher digs it out. And that is ball 1. So Lucas Vargo coming in here looking for some relief here for the Stallions. It's been nothing but runs here for the Dogs. Dogs would like to continue that as long as they can. 1-0 pitch, and that's a shot to right field, and it is gone. Another home run for the Dogs, and it is seriously home run derby tonight at Vets Park. So another 3-run home run here by Mohawk Valley. And if you paid for your tickets tonight, folks, you got the home run special here by the Dogs. So Byron Arias, 3-run home run for the Dogs. And that lead now looks like 13-0. Wow. So Brody Freaker, 1 out for good measure. But let's keep playing here in the bottom of the third. And poor catcher's jumping on his head here to try to stop balls. If it's not getting past him, it's going over the fence. So 1-0. This is one of those games you just want to get back on that bus and head back, huh? The hot dogs won't taste so good tonight. 1 ball and no strikes. And there's a swing and a miss. Remember, fans, we're only in the bottom of the third, so lots can happen. Just like the Dogs have scored 13 runs in 3 innings, we still have a ways to go here. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Freaker. And a swing and a miss, and the way Freaker is swinging, it looks like he's trying to join the home run derby here tonight. In a few moments, I'm going to be announcing J-Mac hit a home run. And he doesn't think that's possible. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I don't think it's possible either, honestly. 1-2. And he's announcing that his eligibility is up. Last organized game was in 7th grade. He's reminiscing. He was here on this field. And we're trying to confirm whether he was even in the lineup. 2-2. Okay, it's confirmed, I guess. He was in the lineup. Now, if he made it at bat, we're not sure yet. We're still trying to confirm that. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Let's not bring up our glory days, folks, because mine doesn't look that great. 2-2. And that one is popped to right field, and it is going to be caught in right field for out number 2. And so Freaker pops out.
Second baseman, number 44 from Fairfield University, Nolan Colby.
So Nolan Colby now the batter for the Dogs. He walked in his last at bat. He's the second baseman here for Mohawk Valley. So Colby, left-handed batter, nobody on. 2 outs. Here's the windup now and the pitch by Vargo. Outside corner, called strike. So no balls and 1 strike. Oh, 1 pitch now from Vargo. And inside for ball. 1 in the count, even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Colby. One pitch now on its way from Vargo to Colby. Colby hits it up the middle for a base hit. And he will stop at first base. So base hit for Colby. And the inning continues for Mohawk Valley. So back to the plate is Joe Crenshaw. And he started this whole mess with a 3-run home run his first time around here in the inning. So Crenshaw, a second chance in this inning. First one wasn't so bad with a 3-run home run. And he can't top that here. Only 1 guy on base. They can certainly add to the numbers. And there's a strike inside corner, and the count 0-1 to Crenshaw. No ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runner on first, being held on, taking a short lead. 0-1 pitch. And down low. 4-1 on the count, and 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike here to Crenshaw. Bottom of the third, 13-0. Dogs ahead. All the Dogs doing is they missed the field goal. 13-0. Here's the pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike. So 2 kids out there in center field. Good place to be tonight. They finally, the kids said, you know what, let's hang out here. Good idea, kids. Good idea. And that one gets away from the catcher. That's going to allow the runner to advance. I always say if you're here at the ballpark, best place to catch a foul ball or get a souvenir is to hang out in the tennis courts. You're usually almost sure to get one. You just got to wrestle some of the little kids that are always waiting there. But tonight, center field seems to be the hot spot. 3-1 count here to Crenshaw. Vargo looks in, runner on second, taking a short lead. Timeout is called by the batter, Crenshaw. He steps out. So 2 outs. Umpire takes out his little notebook and jots something down. I can imagine his timeout that it was called. I'm not sure if he keeps track back there. 3-1. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 4, so he will take a walk, Will Crenshaw. And now runners on first and second for Wesley Alfonso. And Alfonso also hit a home run in this ball game in this inning. So Alfonso, a single, a home run. And now he's got runners on first and second, so he can hit the 3 home run and kind of keep up with the Joneses here. As Arias hit a 3-run shot, Crenshaw hit a 3-run shot, Coleman hit a 3-run shot, and Alfonso with this measly 1 home run. 0-1 pitch to Alfonso. The count 0-1 with 2 outs. Again, runners on first and second here for the Dogs. 13-0 lead for Alfonso here at the plate. And the catcher, Tolentino, is going to go out to his pitcher. 3rd pitcher of the ball game here tonight for Saugerties. It started with Brendan Rushneck. He was the former Dog. Kind of got a rude welcoming home. After that, it was Caleb Swart and now Lucas Vargo. So Vargo is set. Catcher back behind the plate. 0-1 count. And the windup and the pitch coming from Vargo with runners on first and second. 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And that one misses for ball 1. And the count 1-1. So an 8-run 3rd inning that started 4 hours ago. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And that one cruises across for a strike in the count 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes is starting to see some of the infield get shaded in here. Right side starting to get some shade. Left side has some sun still. Here's the pitch. And there's a swing and a miss, and the inning finally over. A brutal, brutal inning for the Stallions. A great inning for the Dogs. A 8-run inning. They lead 13-0. We head to the top of the 4th. Back after this.
At GPO, We understand every member's journey is unique. That's why our employees take the time to listen, understand, and deliver personalized solutions that fit your life. From budgeting to borrowing, we're with you every step of the way. Your journey, our commitment. GPO Federal Credit Union, committed to excellence.
And we are back for the top of the fourth inning. A long bottom of the third for Mohawk Valley. That was an 8-run third inning. A new pitcher on the mound for Mohawk Valley, Dylan Ancelli. And Ancelli delivers the first pitch for a foul ball on the count 0-1. So no balls and one strike. A long inning. Allie Hood was sitting in the dugout the whole time, so change of pitchers. There's the pitch. And the count now 1-1 after the pitch from Ancelli. 1 ball, 1 strike. Magnus Krieger at the plate here for, I'm sorry, not Magnus. That is number 37, Chance Sobry. And he swings and misses in the count 1-2. So Sobry was hit by a pitch in his first at bat here tonight, facing a 1-2 count here in the top of the fourth. That one outside by Ancelli. The count now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. 13-0 lead for the Dogs. And 2-2 of the count. Here's the windup and the pitch by Ancelli, and that's fouled off. And the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2. Sobry steps back in the box, ready to go. Here's the windup and the pitch. And that's fouled off, and the count's going to remain 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Sobry. That'll be Jaden Hamilton and then Jaden Tolentino due up here in the inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch missing for ball 3, and the count now 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Sobry. And Shally, the pitcher, replacing the starter for Mohawk Valley, Allie Hood. Hood leaves the game with a 13-0 lead. Here's the pitch. And that one misses for ball 4. And Sobry will walk. And Jaden Hamilton will come to the plate.
Now then, the Stallions, third baseman number 18 from Merrimack College, Jaden Hamilton.
So Jaden Hamilton, who struck out looking in his first at bat here tonight, will step into the box here to face Ancelli. Ancelli throws over to first. Runner slides back. And Shelley sets now, again, looks over his shoulder at the runner at first base. He's taking a few steps off the bag. Here's the pitch. And here's the throw by the catcher for the Dogs, Joe Crenshaw, over to first base, and everybody is safe. So 1 ball and no strikes here to Jaden Hamilton. And Shelley again throws over. Again, runner gets back. Shelley has the ball. Again, looks over at that runner, trying to keep him close. And here's the windup and the pitch. And a little chopper down the third base line, foul. And the count 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So my friends here in the booth telling me the hockey playoffs start tonight. And then tomorrow night, I believe, is the NBA playoffs with the New York Knicks. That's a name you don't hear in the NBA finals very often, huh? Believe it, folks. It is. That's a ball lifted to left field for an out. And as I was saying, you don't hear the Knicks in the finals, but they're there, as is the San Antonio Spurs and Wemby. Wemby doing some remarkable things. We'll see how that series goes. And a lot of fans in the area cheering for the Knicks. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think Wemby and that San Antonio team is hard to stop. I know the Knicks are hot right now, playing some good basketball. We'll see. We'll see. Should be a good series, I hope. And that one in for a strike to count 0-1. You always hope for a good finals. I agree. If the Knicks win, say goodbye to New York City, it will not exist. It will be carried out into Long Island. It will be in the ocean. It will be somewhere besides New York City. It will not look the same. It'll become a separate country, I think. 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. And there's a swing and a miss for strike 3. So Hamilton, Tolentino strikes out. And Magnus Krieger now the batter. We're talking about the NBA Finals. Those seats to the game will be impossible. I mean, you might as well sell your first child, second child, and the third child. You still probably won't have enough money. That ball's hit the third base, and there's a force at second base. That'll do it for the inning. We'll talk more about basketball when we come back. 13-0 is the score. Bottom of 4th coming up. And we are back, bottom of the fourth. And Harsh Vencock is the batter here for Mohawk Valley. Dogs a 13-0 advantage. And here is Vencock ready to face the pitcher here for Saugerties. And that is Lucas Vargo. Strike one to Vencock in the count 0-1. Well, no balls in one strike. 0-1 count. Here is the windup now and the pitch. And there is called strike two in the count now 0-2. So no balls and two strikes to Vencock. Vargo, the pitcher here for Saugerties. 0-2 the count. Here's the pitch. And that one sinks down low for ball one in the count 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Vencock. Vargo looks in here, and he's going to wind and deliver on the 1-2 now to Vencock. There's the pitch, and outside corner just misses, and that will even the count at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes, nobody out. Bottom 4, and a football score here at Vets Memorial Park, 13-0. 2-2 now. Vargo sets, delivers to Vencock, and puts it high for ball 3, and then we have a full count, 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Vargo sets. He kicks, winds, and delivers. And down the middle, called strike 3. And he goes down looking to Vencock for out number 1. So here's Kyle Coleman. Coleman also hit a 3-run home run here tonight. And he's going to step into the box. 3-run home run, a single. And let's see what he can do here in that bat number 3 against Vargo. Vargo delivers. And a little chopper. And the shortstop slides past it, can't get it. And a base hit there for Coleman. So the great game continues for Coleman with 2 singles and a 3-run home run. So how about Eric Diaz? He will start things back up here in the bottom of the 4th, top of the order for the Dogs. Diaz has struck out, singled, and walked. And he is looking to get into the home run club. He's got 2 home runs already on the season. And he's just kind of watching his friends play home run derby here tonight, so he's going to have to get in here. So back to first base goes the runner with 1 out. Diaz at the plate, ready to go. Vargo is going to kick and deliver. And puts it on the outside corner. The calls a strike and the count 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. So I'm pretty fascinated by that stance from Coleman. He hits his left hand on his, I guess it's the top of his hip every time. I thought at first it might just be a one-time thing, but no, it's part of his routine. 1 ball, 1 strike. A lot of times these guys, something they started in Little League and they just kind of continued. Probably helps them focus and lock in. 1-1. And I say whatever it takes, right? Did I get you this far? Keep doing it. 1-1. And that's fouled off. So a 1-1 count to Eric Diaz. 1-2 count, I'm sorry. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, runner on first base here for the Dogs. Coleman's on first. 13-0 lead here for the Dogs. And that one misses, and that will even things up at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. The lights on here at Vets Park. Gorgeous evening here for baseball. You see the trees fully in bloom here. A lot of greenery. It just looks like baseball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that one down low for ball 3. And the count now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Wind has finally settled down as the flag just kind of limping along out there in center field. 3-2 now. The count to Diaz. Jake Hart is on deck for Mohawk Valley. Runner on first is Coleman. 3-2. And that is fouled off. And Diaz continues to battle at the plate here against Vargo. One of our lucky fans grab that ball for a souvenir. 3-2 now the count with 1 out. So 3-2 pitch now on its way from Vargo. And here it comes. And that is left high by Diaz, and he will take a walk down the first base. His second walk of the evening, and Jake Hard now will come to the plate. So Jake Hard 0 for 3 tonight, has grounded out twice and popped out, and a trip out to the mound. And let's see, they're going to take the ball away from Lucas Vargo, and that will do it for him. So we're going to see the 4th pitcher of the ball game tonight for Saugerties. We're going to take a break. Be back after this. And we are back. Alex Slater now pitching for the Stallions from SUNY Cobleskill. And first pitch is a strike to start things off here after Slater replaces Lucas Vargo. Runners on first and second here for the Dogs. And swinging a foul tip in the count 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes for Jake Hard. 1 out. Runners on first and second for the Dogs. 13-0 lead here in the bottom of the 4th. Here's the windup and the pitch. And catcher makes a wild move to stop that one. And the count 1-2. Hard 0 for 3 tonight. He's the right fielder for the Dogs. Right-handed batter is Hard. And Slater, the fourth pitcher here in the ballgame for the Stallions. 1-2 pitch. Here it comes. And it is high for ball 2 in the count now, 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes, 1 out here. 13 runs on 14 hits for the Dogs. 1 hit for the Stallions. 2-2 now the count. And that's popped foul. And the count now 2-2. That 1 hit for the Stallions came early. That was by way of Cooper Schmidt. So 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out here. Runners on first and second, taking short leads, not being held on. 2-2 pitch by Slater, misses outside, ball 3. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. So lots of kids here in the ballpark tonight. Our little leaguers always coming out to the ballpark, decked out in their gear, looking good. Tonight, red is the color of choice for our little leaguers. And that is the Cherry Valley Lily. So how appropriate they're wearing red, huh? That one's popped into right field, right center field, and that's going to get away from the center fielder. And 1 run's going to score. So a double for Jake Hard. And another run for the Dogs here in the bottom of the 4th. They now extend that lead to 14-0. So Byron Arias, now the batter for the Dogs. He's part of that 3-run home run club. That seems to be the popular thing to do tonight. As we have 1, 2, 3, is that correct? 3 batters hitting 3-run home runs. 1 hitting a single home run. It's usually, if you hit a home run in a ball game, that's not bad. But when your teammates are hitting 3-run home runs, you got to keep up with the Joneses around here. So 1 ball, no strikes. Again, we got a football score here. 2 touchdown lead for the DiamondDawgs. And that one in for a strike in the count, 1-1. So a ball and a strike to Arias. Brody Freaker on deck for the Dogs. Again, bottom 4, 1 out. Runners on second and third. Dogs looking for more here. Here's the pitch. And there's a called strike 2 in the count, 1-2. So it took a little while for the Dogs to get the engine moving. 0 runs in the first inning. After that, 5 runs, 8 runs, and now 1, and just 1 out on the board. And there's a swing, a miss, and down he goes for out number 2. So with 2 outs, Brody Freaker now will come to the plate for the Dogs. He has singled, reached down an air, and popped out tonight. So Freaker, a right-handed batter for the Dogs to face the righty and Alex Slater. Slater looking for 1 more out here with minimal damage if he can, with 1 run already on the board. And there's a strike to Freaker, the count 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike, 2 outs. All 1 pitch, here it is. And that ball curves away for strike 2 and quickly ahead in the count now, and Slater 0-2. So Slater here in the Stallions looking for 1 more strikeout to get out of this inning with as minimal damage as possible. 0-2. Here's the pitch. And that one's popped up into right field. And the right fielder will make the grab, end the inning. Dogs put up 1 more, and they extend that lead to 14-0. We head to the top of the 5th. Dogs ahead, 14-0.
At Hummel's Office Plus, our customers remain our #1 priority. Hi, Central New York. This is Justin Hummel, CEO of Hummel's Office Plus. If you are in need of a reliable, competitive, and consistent business product supplier, give Hummel's a try. We offer customized pricing, free next-day delivery, and personalized service. With our wide assortment of office supplies, janitorial supplies, furniture, and everything else you need for your workplace, Hummel's is your go-to for all your business products.
And we are back, fans. Top of the 5th inning. 14-0. Dogs ahead. Dylan Ancelli, the pitcher, on the mound for Mohawk Valley. So here's Aiden Schmidt. Schmidt struck out in his first at-bat here this evening. And he's going to face Ancelli here for the first time. Ancelli delivers. And the count 1-0, I believe. And we are ducking some wasps up here. 2-0. You always know when there's a wasp in here because you will hear me either hit the deck, scream, or you'll hear the cord just get tangled up and you'll hear a big chaos in here. 2-0. I don't do wasps, man. 3-0. 3 balls and no strikes. Got a lot of good memories in this booth. Oh, yeah. Breaking news. Ezra got stung on Josh's wedding day. We just found this out. This happened, what, 2 summers ago? This past summer. Update. So Ezra got stung at his wedding. No one checked on him until now. He's fine. We're putting a little ice on it. He's good. 3 balls and no strike. Listen, Ezra's a tough dude. Like, if you could put this guy in a costume in 100 degrees and he survives like he did, no sting's going to hurt this guy. And he will take his bases at his ball 4. So here's Cooper Schmidt. I don't want to spoil anything, but we had a Diamond Dog. I'm not gonna tell you who it was. He's in the booth with us here. Problem is you can't put a human in a costume when it's 100 and something degrees out. We put him in the freezer for a little bit. That didn't work. And he had to go to the hospital because he was dehydrated. Shocker. But you know what, though? The kids loved him. I mean, oh, yeah, the kids saw everything was great. Kids were clapping. Diamond Dog is laying on the ground, passed out. Kids are like, oh, look, he's laying down. He's sleeping. There's strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Good old days of summer. 1-1 the count. Yeah, we're not getting any costumes right now. We got to wait till it gets hotter. It's too cool out for that. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Diamond Dog is in the kennel right now. But sometimes kids ask, where's Diamond Dog? Where's Diamond Dog? We haven't seen him. He's in the kennel. He's good. He's misbehaving. Can't let him out right now. 1-2. But somebody certainly let the dogs out tonight because it is 13-0. It's been nothing but dogs here tonight. 14, sorry. Missed one. 1-2. And that one is hit past the third baseman for a base hit. He's going to head to second. And he's going to head to third. So a triple, and that's going to finally put the Stallions on the board. And so a triple to start things off here for the Stallions. They heat things up for them. And the score now 14-1 Mohawk Valley.
Stallions. Right fielder number 16 from Georgia Southern University, Mason Gazaway.
So here's Mason Gazaway, who popped out in his first at bat here this evening. And he's going to come to the plate with a Stallion at third base. Down 14-1 here in the top of the fifth. And that one is popped up to right field. Right fielder backing up and heads on over to make the grab. And he's going to throw that in as the runner will tag up. And the second run of the ball game now will score for the Stallions. And now 14-2 is the score.
Right fielder number 47 from Embry-Riddle, Jack Bale.
So Jack Bayo now the runner. I'm sorry, the batter. Bayo, a right-handed batter. And nobody on the base pads here for the Stallions. And that one missing for ball one. So 1 ball and no strikes. 1 out. Top 5. Here's the pitch. And that is left high for ball 2. And the count now 2-0. So Dylan Anchelli, the pitcher here for Mohawk Valley. Ahead 14-2. Here's the windup, the pitch. And that is hit off the glove of the shortstop. Almost had it. And a single there. And the inning will continue here for the Stallions.
From Siena College, Steven Ramirez.
So here's Steven Ramirez with a runner on first for Saugerties and 1 out. So that one just off the glove of Arias as short. Almost made the stab. Here's the pitch by Anchelli, and that's fouled off in the count 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Top 5 here from Vets Memorial Park in Little Falls. Anchelli, the pitcher. Here's the 0-1 pitch now. And there's a called strike, and the count now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to the DH, Steven Ramirez. Ramirez set now, as is Anchelli. Here's the windup and the pitch, and that one is hit into center field. So another base hit for the Stallions, and that's going to put runners on the corners. So the Stallions on a little bit of a run here in the top of the 5th inning. So with that, Nick Croce due up here for the Stallions.
Now batting for the Stallions, shortstop number 17 from Chipola College, Nick Croce.
So Croce now the batter for the Stallions. Runners on first and third. 14-2 score, top 5, 1 out here. And Anchelli with the pitch. And right down the center of the plate for a called strike 1. And the count 0-1 to Croce. Croce has struck out and popped out here tonight, as the Stallions looking to get themselves on a little bit of a run here, trying to get themselves back in this game late in the ball game. 0-1, here's the pitch. And inside corner called strike. And quickly 0-2 now. Ahead in the count is Anchelli. Anchelli now on the 0-2. Runner takes off, and they're going to let him go with a runner at third. And that'll put runners in scoring position here at second and third for the Stallions with a 1-2 count. So no balls and 2 strikes to Croce. Croce the shortstop here for the Stallions here tonight. 1-2, here's Anchelli. And it's popped up foul behind home plate. And we're going to reset at 1-2. So a ball and 2 strikes. As a lucky fan is going to go home with a souvenir ball. 1-2. And Anchelli now set, looking for out number 2 of the inning here with a 14-2 advantage. Here's the pitch. And that again is fouled off down the first base line. Again, lucky fan. And they are running for the ball. And little girl just standing there and finds herself a ball. Didn't even know what happened. Just showed up. like something, an egg fell out of the sky. That was cool. She had no idea what was going on, and right in front of her, a ball just dropped. Thank God it didn't hit her. 1-2. Here's the windup and the pitch from Ancelli. And nice curveball. Catches him on the outside corner. Called strike. Croce doesn't like it. But that is good for out number 2. Great pitch there by Ancelli. Ball had a lot of movement. As Croce was saying, it was on the outside corner. Well, it was right on the line. So Chance Sobry, who was hit by a pitch and walked here tonight, comes up for the 3rd time. This time, his first time around against Ancelli. And Ancelli's got runners on 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs. And that ball hit into center field past the second baseman. And 2 runs are going to score. And fans, don't look now, but Saugerties is starting to make a little bit of a run here. So a single by Sobry. And the score now 14-4. So Jaden Hamilton now the batter for Saugerties. As Ancelli looking to settle down here, get one more out and get out of this inning. 4 runs thus far. And there's another curveball for a call. Strike the count 0-1. So Ancelli working with a lead here. A lot of the balls that he's put in play just getting over the heads of the second baseman, the shortstop. Good pitches, just unable to make the play because the ball is just a bit higher above their heads. So good hitting on the part of Saugerties. 0-2. And that's exactly how you get back into these ball games. You're down 14-0. You're not going to score 14 runs at one at bat. It's one at a time. Thus far, they've put 4 up on the board. And as you heard Coach the first time when they first got on, he's like, all right, we got to run now. That's what we needed. 0-2. Here's the pitch. Down low for ball 1. And the count 1-2 now to Hamilton. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs. And Ancelli sets, looks in, taking his time. Here's the pitch. And that one is popped up into right center field. And the center fielder makes the play, calls off the right fielder, and ends the inning. 4-run score. It is 14-4. We head to the bottom of the 5th. And fans, welcome back. And it is the bottom of the 5th inning here at Vets Memorial Park in Little Falls, New York. Perfect game, Collegiate League Baseball. I'm Pete Pagliaro bringing you all the action with Creative Outpost. And the Dogs have jumped up to a huge lead here. But the Stallions have kind of rumbled back. 14-4 is the score, bottom 5. Dogs are going to have their chances here to add some more runs to this lead, as it's been smooth sailing for the Dogs thus far. A little bit of a bump here in the top of the 5th with the 4 runs. But we'll see what they do here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. So last few warm-up tosses from Alex Slater.
And the first prize for all the money, 030-557. That's
The last few tosses for Slater.
030595. For the movie tickets, 030192. And for the money, 030557. Go see Cindy at the theater.
All right, we are ready to go. Slater has his warm-up pitches in.
And now batting for your Dogs in the bottom of the fifth. Second baseman number 44 from Fairfield University.
And Nolan Colby is going to lead things off here for the Dogs in the bottom half of the fifth inning. It'll be Nolan Colby, Joe Crenshaw, and Wesley Alfonso. So for Colby, fielder's choice, a walk and a single. So let's see what Colby can do here in the bottom of the half for the Dogs. First pitch to Colby misses, 4-1, and the count 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes. Dogs 2-1 on the season, lost yesterday to the Utica Blue Sox in a morning game, 5-4. And for the Stallions, 2-0 on the year. And the count now 1-1 to Colby. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Slater is set. Gets his pitch from his catcher and now delivers the pitch, and that is fouled off on the third base line into the bleachers here on the third base side. And 1-2 now the count. Colby steps back into the box. He's facing a 1-2 count. Nobody out, nobody on here. He starts off this bottom of the fifth inning for the Dogs. Slater sets, winds, and delivers. And that one is fouled off, and the count's going to remain 1-2. So a ball and 2 strikes. We'll reset and do it all again once Colby settles back into the batter's box. A few fans sticking around here still from the visitor side. I'm not sure if they traveled in or just fans of baseball here sitting on the other side. Good fans sitting here on the Mohawk Valley side. Fans always coming out to the ball game here in Little Falls. Make sure if you haven't come out to a game yet, check the schedule and get out here. It is a fun season of baseball, but it goes by fast. Starts the last couple days in May, and we are done the first couple days in August. 2-2 pitch on the way. And there is ball 3. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Basically, June and July, when the meat of this season is played, we always say you got to get off to a good start because the season ends quick. Before you know it, that pennant race is heating up right at the end of June. You want to be right there in the mix, vying for a playoff spot. 3-2, here's the pitch. And that is popped foul again down the third base line into the bullpen area for the Stallions. And we're going to reset and take our hacks again here in the batter's box. 3-2 is a battle between the pitcher Slater and the batter in Colby. Here's 3-2 now. Again, nobody out. 14-4 is the score. Dogs are ahead. Here's the pitch. And in the dirt for ball 4. And he will take a walk. Will Colby, and Joe Crenshaw will come to the plate for Mohawk Valley. So Crenshaw has walked, singled, and hit that big 3-run home run earlier in the ball game. So the Richmond Spider, Joe Crenshaw, will step into the box here to face Slater with a runner on first and nobody out. Dogs looking to get another little rally going here. They've had a couple rallies throughout this ball game. Would love to have another 1 or 2 to put this game away if they can. 1-0 count. The ball was in the dirt to Crenshaw. But Crenshaw steps out, takes a few practice swings before he makes his way back in the batter's box. Bats on the right side. And he faces the righty here on the mound. 1-0 as Slater looks at his runner at first, delivers the pitch, and that is popped up into right field. Right fielder at the wall, and it is gone. Another home run for Joe Crenshaw. Can you believe it, folks? A 2-run shot for Crenshaw. His second home run of the season, of the game, and of the season. So a 2-run blast by Joe Crenshaw. And he is producing some runs here tonight for the Dogs. And just those 2 swings, 5 runs for Crenshaw. And we have a pinch hitter coming into the ball game.
Pitch hitter number 9 from Fairfield University, Connor Scanlon.
So Connor Scanlon, now the batter for the Dogs. So a pinch hitter in the ball game. So 16-4 is the score. And Crenshaw having himself a game. Here is Scanlon. Takes the first pitch 0-1 for a strike. So no balls and 1 strike. 16-4. The Dogs bounce right back here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. And that one down low with the count 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So you look at the line for Crenshaw, a single, a 3-run home run, a walk, and a 2-run home run. And you started the game and you said, I want to have myself a game. I'm not sure you write down that box box score, sorry. 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike here to Scanlon. He replaces Wesley Alfonso in the ball game here. Here's the windup in the pitch now. Outside, ball 3. And the count now 3-1 here in the bottom of the 5th. 16-4 is the score. Three 3-1 count here to Scanlon. As Slater winds and delivers. And that one misses for ball 4, and he will take a walk. So his first at bat of the ball game for Scanlon. He gets on base with a walk. So here's Harsh Venkat. Right-handed batter is Venkat. And he will step into the box with nobody out. And a runner on first base. Slater looks in, looks at that runner at second momentarily. Now delivers the pitch. Big swing and a miss by Venkat. And 0-1 the count. Following Venkat, Kyle Coleman is on deck. So no balls and 1 strike. Here's the windup in the pitch by Slater. And that is strike 2 in the count now 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes, 16 hits, 16 runs for the Dogs. A 16-4 advantage here in the bottom of the 5th. Runner on first base taking a short lead. Slater looks in, picks up his sign from his catcher, winds and delivers. And there's a swing and a miss by Venkat, and he strikes out.
Stepping in for your Dogs, left fielder number 25 from Belmont University, Kyle Coleman.
So Kyle Coleman, now the batter here for Mohawk Valley with 1 out. Coleman also a 3-run home run. 3-run home run and 2 singles for Coleman. And here's the windup in the pitch. And he fouls that one off in the count 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Coleman. And I'm not sure if that's a bird or a bat that just flew by. If it's a bat, I am out of here, dude. Whoever wants to take this microphone, it's all yours, dude. 0-1. As long as it stays out there, I'm good. There's a swing and a miss. And the count now 0-2. I think our producer that's doing the thing here, she can probably do it. Put it right on her head, and she'll just keep talking. A couple things I don't do, a lot of things I don't do in life. Birds, insects, bees, fast rides, slow rides, merry-go-rounds, water rides. Should I keep going? And there's ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I'm kind of scared of everything, to be honest with you. I'm also scared of heights. So, you know, being in this booth is a little nerve-wracking. I mean, no, I'm not going on the roof like you. Our man Ezzo goes on the roof to get speakers in, like, rainstorms. It's amazing. 1-2. And there's a swing and a miss. Our roof is not very tall. It's on the ground. There's a swing and a miss, and that's strike 2. He wears a safety harness and everything. It's all about safety here. So with 2 outs, Diaz now the batter for the Dogs. And there is ball 1. So 1 ball and no strikes. Diaz a walk, 2 walks tonight, a single and a strikeout. He has 2 home runs on the season, none tonight. And that one misses inside to Diaz, and the count now 2-0. So 2 outs. Runner on first base for the Dogs. They've already put up 2 runs here in the bottom of the 5th. Added to that lead now 16-4. Sky is just starting to get a little dark out there. Begins the later part of the evening here. And 2 balls and no strikes. And that one misses. And the count 3-0. So I don't think we've been here late enough for a game yet to hear the 9:15 train, folks. I did see the train on the way home one night. But usually we're up here in the booth and we hear the little train going by and we announce that, you know, it's the 9:15 train. Make sure you head on over, pick it up. But I haven't heard it yet. Maybe these headsets I got are a little bit better this year. I can't hear. And there is called strike, and the count now 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike, 2 outs to Diaz. After Diaz, should he make it safely to first base, or any base actually, Jake Hard is on deck. 3-1 the count. Here's the pitch. And that one will miss for ball 4. He'll take a walk, and Jake Hard will come to the plate. So here's Jake Hard, who doubled in his last at bat. And with that, we're going to have a trip out to the mound. And they're looking down to the bullpen. They do have activity down there. And let's see if they go to pitcher number 5 of the evening. It doesn't matter, seems like, what pitcher they're going to. The struggles have been real here for the Saugerties Stallions. And the entire infield's coming in. Looks like he's going to stay put, at least for the time being. Give him a couple more pitches, maybe another batter or so, and give that guy down in the bullpen a little more time to warm up. Days like this are tough for the managers as you try to save some arms, but also don't want to leave all your guys up there. So the hockey playoffs are on. I'm not going to tell you the score in case you want to check it out later. But the Panthers and Vegas are battling for a Stanley Cup as we speak. So here's Jake Hard at the plate with 2 outs. Runners on first and second here for the Dogs. 2 runs already in this inning, and there's a strike down the middle, and the count 0-1. 16-4 is the score. Bottom 5 here at Vets Park in Little Falls. Oh, 1 count. Here's the pitch. And that one dropped down low for ball 1. The count 1-1. Got to say, this field out here in Little Falls looks fantastic. Grounds crew and the crews here working in the city of Little Falls doing a great job. Field looks great. I'm sure you can see it through our cameras. A lot of greenery. Everything looks fantastic. Great field here. I always say, come and check it out. It's a bucket list item if you love baseball. You got to say you came out here and checked out this field. Little Falls Mets used to play here back in the day. And that one is hit to left field. And it's going to bounce over. And a ground rule double. That's the second one of the evening, folks. So second time we saw a ground rule double here tonight. And they're going to, it's like they're holding a timeout's called. And number 17 will come to the plate for the Dogs, as here is Byron Arias at the plate with 2 outs. So runners now on second and third for Mohawk Valley. And another run comes across. 17-4 now the score after the ground rule double with Arias at the plate. Here's a left-handed batter for the Dogs. 2 outs. Here's the windup and the pitch. And that one misses for ball 1. So Alex Slater still on the mound here for Saugerties. I imagine his time is coming due as the pitcher in the bullpen still warming up. But that leash is getting shorter, I imagine. There's a call, strike 1-1 now, the count to Arias. So a ball and a strike, 2 outs, runners on a second and third in scoring position here again for the Dogs. They put up 3 runs thus far in the bottom of the 5th, looking to match at least what the Stallions did in the top of the 5th with 4 runs. 2-1 the count. Arias steps down, takes a big practice cut before he makes his way back. A lot of happy fans here tonight with this score. 2-1, and he's going to step off the rubber. Will Slater as Arias steps out of the box with another practice cut. All right, 2-1. Here's Slater with the windup and the pitch to Arias. Outside corner, but misses, and that jumps the count to 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike here to Arias. Byron Arias, the batter for the Dogs. Looking to put the ball in play and add some more runs to this lead. 3-1 pitch on its way. And fouled off, and now the count is full at 3-2. So Slater hanging in there. And has gotten this count to 3-2, looking for one more strike to get himself out of this inning with just 3 runs. I shouldn't say just 3 runs, but that's the best that they can do at this point. They can get out of this inning. They don't want any more on the board if you're Saugerties. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And that is fouled off, and the battle continues. So who will win this battle, pitcher or batter? The pitcher is Alex Slater, and the batter is Byron Arias. 3-2. And we will do it again here as Slater looks in. He's going to wind and deliver. Look to put him away here. 3-2. Let's see what Arias can do. And he swings and misses, and that will do it for the inning. 3-run score by the Dogs, and they extend their lead to 17-4 as we head to the top of the 6th.
Guys, be sure to be back here on Thursday night. Your DiamondDawgs.
Spring into action and get started on your home projects with Little Falls Lumber. Get your free estimate today for that project, big or small. Little Falls Lumber. They're always happy to help.
Stop by one of our 3 convenient locations and speak to one of our knowledgeable salesmen about your next project.
And we are back. We have a few changes to mention here for you. And new pitcher on the mound for Mohawk Valley is James Lester. So James Lester now pitching and warming up for Mohawk Valley. And a new player in the ballgame at first base now is Connor Scallon. So Connor Scallon at first base and James Lester on the mound here for Mohawk Valley here in the top of the 6th inning. So a few changes for the Dogs, and we are ready to get back at it here.
Catcher number 36 from the University of Rhode Island, Jaden Tolentino.
So Jaden Tolentino will step up to the batter's box here to face the new pitcher James Lester here in the top of the 6th inning for the Dogs. 17-4 is the score, top 6. And here we go with Tolentino at the plate. And there's the windup, the pitch, down low, 4-1 from Lester. So 1 ball and no strikes to Tolentino. Tolentino doing the catching duties tonight for the Stallions. And that one is hit into center field for a base hit to start things off here for Saugerties in the top of the 6th.
Now batting for the Stallions, left fielder number 51 from Seton Hall, Magnus Krieger.
So Magnus Krieger, the left fielder, a right-handed batter to face the righty here in Lester in the top of the 6th. Dogs hoping it doesn't go the same way as it went in the top of the 5th as some runners started getting on base. Looking to move in and out of these innings quickly if they can. And there is a called strike 1. So no balls and 1 strike. So fans, some different rules come into play later on in the ballgame, but we'll let you know if that happens once we get to that top of the 7th inning. We'll let you know how that works as far as the runs and the rule in play. And Lester is going to hit that batter, so he's going to take his base. Will Krieger, that one kind of got away from Lester.
Second baseman number 20 from Embry-Riddle, Aiden Schmidt.
So Aiden Schmidt is now the batter for the Stallions. So Schmidt will step into the batter's box from the right side here to face Lester. Runner on first base for Saugerties, nobody out. Top 6. Here's the windup and the pitch, and it is high for ball 1. So 1 ball and no strikes. Lester looks in. Runners on first and second, not being held on, taking short leads. And the windup and the pitch, and that is popped up, and it's going to drop in front of the right fielder, and that's going to put runners on every base here for Saugerties. Not how they wanted to start this inning for the Dogs.
Extra hitter number 10 from Embry-Riddle, Cooper Schmidt.
So Cooper Schmidt now will come to the plate with bases loaded here for Saugerties. So the Dogs struggling late here as they're putting runners on the base pads, giving them the opportunity to slowly creep back in here. There's a swing and a miss in the count, 0-1 now. To the second Schmidt, this is Cooper. So 2 Schmidts in a row in the lineup. 2 James in the lineup. All kinds of good things going on here tonight. And that one inside. And the count 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, bases not full of dogs, full of horses. The stallion type. 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And that is hit into left field, and it's going to pass the diving left fielder. The left fielder took a chance, and it came back to bite him as that one gets away, goes all the way to the wall, and that's going to allow everybody to score. And inside the park, home run. So just when you think you've seen everything tonight, you've seen it all now. So an inside the park home run for Cooper Stallion. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen a inside the park grand slam. That was insane. 17-8 now the score. So we've seen a bulk. We've seen a bunch of 3-run home runs. We've seen a grand slam by way of an inside the park grand slam. So this might be one of those games that you can mark down as a trivia question later on. So 17-8 now the score. And that is fouled off in the count 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Gazaway. 0-1 count. Here's the windup and the pitch. And there's a call, strike in the count, 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes here to Gazaway. As an eerie silence is kind of taking over here in the park. Kind of weird, huh? That'll do it to you. A grand slam in the park will usually quiet things down. 1-2 the count. Well, still lots of baseball left to play here. We were starting to talk about the 7-inning rule. If you're up 10 runs. But looks like the Dogs are going to have to do some work if they want that rule to go into play into the top of the 7th. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's a reason 9 innings are played, right, folks? That's why it's a 9-inning game. The game's not over till you played them all. So 3 balls and 2 strikes now. Full count here to Gazaway. 17-8 the score. Bottom 6th. Here's the windup and the pitch now from Lester. And that's a ball hit sharply to center field. Another base hit for the Stallions. And that one gets away. And the runner's going to head the second on his way to third. And he's going to make his way all the way to third, as that was an error on the center fielder. And so the hits continue here as things are starting to get strange here at Vets Park. And with that, here comes Coach Luby. 17-8 the score, nobody out. Everybody comes to the mound as not sure what's going to be said here by Coach Luby, just trying to give his pitcher some confidence here and tell him to just throw strikes. He still has the lead. 17-8 now the score. Everybody chatting it over. Teammates on the mound trying to encourage his pitcher, their pitcher. That is James Lester. And the umpire is giving him a long time to have that conference call. And it is over now. Sometimes I'd be a little scared to go to the mound when Coach Luby is out there when things are happening like this myself. So that umpire did not want to go out there and say, guys, let's call it off here. We're done. Not a lot of happy campers on that mound, I imagine, right now. So 17-8, no outs, lots of runs. 17 for the Dogs, 8 for the Stallions. Runner on third, nobody out. Here's the pitch by Lester. And that one is hit to second base. He scoops it up, throws on over. And there's out number 1, but another run comes across, and the score now 17-9, Mohawk Valley.
Now batting for the Stallions. Designated hitter number 11 from Siena College, Steven Ramirez.
So Steven Ramirez, the DH now, the batter for the Stallions with 1 out. And down 17-9. That one misses down low to Ramirez, in the count 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes to Ramirez. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And that one is popped up into left field. Third baseman heading on over, as is the right fielder, and he drops it. So everything just happening here tonight. The skies are falling Little Falls.
Now batting for the Stallions, shortstop number
And another
17,
error.
Holy College, Nick Croce.
So runner now on a second base for the Stallions. Again, still just 1 out. So with 1 out, here is Nick Croce. So Croce, a right-handed batter, steps into the box. Runner on second base here for the Stallions. Here's the pitch. And finally a strike. And the count 0-1. So Dogs need to settle down here, get themselves out of this inning, and reset. Lester sets now. Looks at that runner at second base. Delivers the pitch outside. And the count 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Lester ready, delivers, and it is outside, and the count 2-1. So this is one of those moments, if those little leaguers are still around, Dad's going to get those little leaguers and say, listen, kids, this is why game's never over, right? You keep playing, and you just keep battling back as anything is possible in baseball. Ball hit to second baseman. He scoops it, throws on over for out number 2, and the runner will advance the third on the play, but now 2 outs for the Dogs. And they need 1 more out to get out what I'm going to call a miserable inning here for the Dogs. So with 2 outs, the ground out there by Croce, and Chase Soberly, now the batter. So 2 outs, runner on third here. Here's the pitch outside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes, and 2 outs. Again, runner on third, scoring position for the Stallions. There's a strike, and the count now even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So Sobry facing a 1-1 count. Here's the windup and the pitch, and there is strike 2, and the count now 1-2 from Lester. So 1 more needed here by Lester to get out of this inning here for the Dogs with this 17-9 lead. Here's the windup and the pitch by Lester, and they say no. That was just in the outside corner, missing. And the count now 2-2. So close, not close enough here. 2-2, Lester will set, do it again. And that one misses on the other side. And the count now full, 3-2. So Lester, the 3-2 count, needs this guy here. Doesn't want to lose him here with a 3-2 count and 2 outs. And a runner on third base with the Stallions knocking out the door here. 5 runs in this inning, 9 runs in the last 2 innings for the Stallions. 3-2, Lester set. Kicks, winds, and delivers. And that one gets through. And another hit. And another run scores. And now the score is 17-10 as the base hit. And the inning continues here for the Stallions. So Jaden Hamilton now your batter for the Stallions. So if you're listening at home from Saugerties, I'm not sure what you're doing on the couch. You're probably doing high cartwheels and all kinds of things. And now, you know, that wasn't very nice, Ezzo. So no balls and 1 strike. As Ezzo made a very good point. He said they're probably listening to the Saugerties feed. I'm going to guess they're not. 1 ball and 1 strike. I'm guessing they got on today. And they said, you know, we're listening to the Saugerties feed. It's not going so well. And we're going to switch over to Pags. And then all of a sudden the game changes. That's what I'm guessing. 1-1. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs. I'm hearing some laughter behind me. Not sure what's going on. But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So, you know, 1-2 the count, 2 outs. And that one gets away. And the count now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner on second base here for the Stallions. And Lester needs this one badly here. 1 more strike needed here for the Dogs. And that is fouled off as the Stallions not going away here, as they are going to battle every at-bat, every pitch. And 2-2 for the count. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the windup and the pitch by Lester. And he fouls that one off and stays alive. You may even remember many hours ago, I mentioned that the ride back to Saugerties would not be that great if that game ended the way it did, eating those hot dogs on the way back. Well, guess what? Those hot dogs are starting to taste a little better now. 2-2. They got mustard on them. 2 balls and 2 strikes, and that's outside. And the count now 3-2. So, full count. We're going to do it again here as Lester and Saugerties battling away here. Here's the 3-2. And little chopper to third, and it is foul. And we will continue to claw away here in this inning. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. If you had your dinner here already a couple innings ago, you're probably hungry. You're waiting for this inning to end and go get another snack, as this game's gotten a lot closer. 17-10 now. Saugerties a runner on second base. A 3-2 count with 2 outs. They put up 6 runs, 10 runs in the last 2 innings alone. Lester steps off. 3-2. Big pitch on the way. Here it comes. And that one calls strike 3, outside corner. And the misery ends for the Dogs. A brutal, brutal inning for the Dogs. A great inning for Saugerties. Are back in this game 17-10. We'll be back as the Dogs' bats come up in the next inning here. And we are back, folks. We got a chance to catch our breath. And it's Cole Macklin, new pitcher, on the mound here for the Stallions. And if you were napping or watching the hockey game or watching another feed by any chance, which I don't imagine you were, the game changed a little bit, right? 17-10 now, as this game is a lot closer here as we get to the bottom of the 6th inning, as the Stallions have battled back in this ball game. Dogs have dominated most of this game, and then 2 innings changed everything here, as the Stallions were not going to go away easily. They continue to battle back, and we have ourselves a ball game here, as the Dogs will come to the plate here in the bottom of the 6th.
Now batting for your Dogs, designated hitter number 19 from George Washington University, Brody Freaker.
So Brody Freaker will lead things off here for the Dogs in the bottom of the 6th. It'll be Freaker, then Colby, and then Crenshaw. So the hot bats coming to the bat here in this inning for the Dogs. We'll see what happens here. And here's the pitch. And that is high by Mackin. And the count now is a 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes to Freaker. 1-0 pitch for Mackin on its way. And that is fouled off in the count now, 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Still have some fans that are hanging out here, still watching this ball game. The diehards won't go away, which is great to see. As fans come here to watch their baseball, they love their baseball here in Little Falls. It has been baseball here for a long time here in Little Falls. Back in the day, Little Falls Mets were here, and now the DiamondDawgs have taken over this area. 3 balls and 1 strike, and a lot of hardcore fans here all the time. You see a lot of the local fans come in day after day supporting this team, which we appreciate. And I know the players do as well. 3-1 count. Here's the pitch. And there is ball 4. And he will take his base. So good start for the Dogs here, as they get a guy on base to start things off here in the bottom half of the inning. So Nolan Colby now the batter for the Dogs. He is the second baseman. And Colby, left-handed batter for Mohawk Valley, and he will step into the box with nobody out and a runner on first base. And Dogs want to respond just the way they did in the last inning and put up runs of their own in the bottom half of their inning. It's a chess match back and forth between both teams. A 1-0 count. And here comes the pitch from Mackin. Wind up the pitch. And that one misses for ball 2, and the count now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Here's the 2-0 pitch. In the dirt. 4 ball, 3 in the count now, 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes now to Nolan Colby. Colby awaits 3-0 pitch. Here it comes. Outside, ball 4. And runners now on first and second here for the Dogs. And the big bat coming to the plate for Mohawk Valley. That is Joe Crenshaw. So no bigger bat for the Dogs coming to the plate. Joe Crenshaw with 2 home runs here tonight, a single and a walk. He counts for 5 runs alone in 2 swings. Well, with runners on first and second, here is Crenshaw. And that is high for ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes. One and 0. Here's the windup and the pitch from Mackin. And Crenshaw gives it a drive, but fouls it off, and the count 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Joe Crenshaw. And on deck, Connor Scanlon. So 1-1. Right-handed batter here is Crenshaw. 1-1. Macklin delivers. And that is popped up into center field. He'll make the catch. Runners will tag up. And the runners now at second and third as Crenshaw moves them over. And with 1 out, here is Connor Scanlon. Connor Scanlon now the batter. So here is Scanlon. He came in the ball game earlier. He'll step into the batter's box from the right side. Gotta check our score sheets to make sure we didn't have another pinch hitter. But Connor came in the game earlier, took over at first base. And here we go. Runners on second and third for the Dogs with 1 out. In the dirt, gets away, and here comes a run. And a run will score as that one bounced in the dirt. And the Dogs respond again, this time with 1 run. And now 18-10 the score. The umpire is going to do a little landscaping duty. Cleans that home plate nice and clean. You can come over and clean my house like that. My house could need a little brushing like that. 1-0. We were just talking about this the other day. I was at a modified game, and the umpire was using his foot to clean off home plate, and someone was saying, don't they use brushes anymore? Apparently not in modified. His foot. So 2 balls and no strikes. Listen, times are tough in school districts now, you know. Budgets are crunched. And so no brushes for the umpires. Got to cut back where you can. 2 balls and no strikes. And that one misses for ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. Listen, folks, I've seen some crazy things on how people try to make budget cuts in my real job. Sometimes it's kind of crazy. Think to yourself, really? That's how you're going to save a buck? 3 balls and no strikes. And that one in for a strike. The count now 3-1. Speaking of my real job, 6 o'clock comes pretty early tomorrow morning. 3-1, that's okay. Busy day tomorrow at work, but we'll worry about that tomorrow. We'll make a stop at Utica Coffee. Make sure we fuel up. And then get to work. 3-1. Heck, I might stop at Utica Coffee tonight. They're not open this late, but Duncan is. Duncan and Herkimer, good stopping point. 3-1. And that one is popped up to center field. Center fielder is backing up and at the wall and gone. Another home run here tonight. So the festivities continue. Connor Scanlon comes into the ball game late as a pinch hitter, and he takes part in the action here tonight. So a 2-run home run by Connor Scanlon as he wanted to take part in the home run derby that's happening here tonight, and he does it himself too. So another shot, another home run, and here we go. So 20-10 in score now with 1 out. So here's Harsh Ramayana Venkak looking for his own home run. He's one of the few who doesn't have one. You got to get one tonight, right? I mean, we're ready. We got our bats ready up here, and it looks like a little bloop out to not a home run, but we'll take it. The Dogs will take it. And so Venkak gets on with a base hit. So Kyle Coleman, he's gotten in on the action with a 3-run home run tonight. So now you got to up the ante because your teammates are hitting home runs. And like I said, hitting a home run in a ball game is a big deal, but not tonight. Tonight you got to have the 3-run home run, or you got to have 2 home runs. So the catcher's going to go out to talk to his pitcher. So back and forth here tonight in this ball game, as no team wants to give it up here. This is what happens when you get 2 good teams who are competitors. They are not going to quit. And this is something we've always said about the Dogs. As Travis, teams that he puts together, hard workers will not let down. And pitch misses outside, the count 1-0. Things starting to cool down here a bit. That's what happens when you start the day at, 6 o'clock, and now it's almost whatever time it is. I mean, the Stanley Cup playoffs started when we started this game. That's almost, the Stanley Cup is almost over. They're almost hoisting the trophy already. 1-0 pitch. We were talking about it up here. We're like, maybe we can get in the car, listen to the game on the way home. By the time we get in the car, game 4 will be on. 1-1 count. Poor Scotty's our hockey guy here. Dave the Maven, whatever they call him, the hockey Maven, hockey puck. I forgot what it is. Dave the Save, yeah. He's up here doing baseball still when he's a hockey guy. He learned about hockey. Listen, when Dave first started, I don't think he knew the difference between a hockey puck and a tennis ball. Now he knows hockey. Does it all. And that one hit on the ground to the shortstop, 6-4. And they don't get the, they got him. 6-4, 3 double play. And that'll do it for the inning. So 3-run score, 20-10 is the score. And now we head to the top of the 7th. Dogs lead 20-10. Back after this.
At NBT Bank, we know that this day starts with this one. This day starts with this one. Because no matter how unforgettable the extraordinary days are, there's a lot of every day that leads up to them. You can count on NBT Bank to help you get started. NBT Bank, it starts here.
Little Falls, New York combines the charms of a small town with the conveniences of a much larger city. Of course, you'd expect to find welcoming people, beautiful scenery, family-friendly activities, and plenty to do outdoors. But you might be surprised to find that Little Falls, New York also has an espresso bar, gem shop, art center, French restaurant, antique centers, local hospital, and extensive civic services and amenities. Not to mention homes both beautiful and affordable, nestled in a dramatic natural setting amongst steep hills that descend to the Mohawk River and Erie Canal. Little Falls, New York. It's a great place to spend a few days or a lifetime.
Some people might think that the tire.
All right, we are back, and we have another pitcher in the ball game here tonight for the Dogs. That is Matt Allegria from Felician University. So Matt Allegria now on the mound for the Dogs here in the top of the 7th inning. 20-10 is the score. That's right, you heard that right, 20-10. And it is a baseball game, football style here tonight, 20-10. As I was saying that earlier when I was saying it was a 2-touchdown lead for the Dogs at one point when it was 14-0. So here's the catcher, Jaden Tolentino. He will start things off here in the top of the 7th for the Stallions. Is Tolentino, Krieger, and one of the Schmidts. The first Schmidt will be Aiden, and then should anybody get up, Cooper will be up after him. But first, here's Tolentino. And that ball is hit into left field past the third baseman. And this is the way it has started every inning that Saugerties has scored. So again, they get on base. Runner on first here, and here is Magnus Krieger. So Krieger at the plate now for the Stallions. A right-handed batter. The catcher, Crenshaw, goes out. Have a few words with his pitcher. I imagine he's just going to say to him, just throw it down the middle, let your defense do the work. The problem is the ball has been going over the heads of all these guys in the infield, so they don't have a chance to actually do the work because it's been getting over their heads. A couple errors as well, so we can't just call it that. But Saugerties has been hitting the ball well here late in the game. So here's Krieger at the plate with a runner on first and nobody out. So Allegria is the pitcher for the Dogs here, right-handed pitcher. Winds and delivers, and there's a called strike inside corner, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and one strike here to Krieger. Aiden Schmidt on deck here for Saugerties. Allegria looks over at the runner at first base. Winds and delivers, and that is fouled off. And the count now 0-2. So ahead in the count now is Allegria. And the count 0-2 as Magnus Krieger steps out. Takes a few practice swings before he steps back into the batter's box with an 0-2 count. Here's the windup and the pitch, and that one gets away from the catcher, and the runner is going to advance to second base. And the struggles continue here for the Dogs late. So they're going to check, and they say, no, it did not go. And they count 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to the left fielder, Krieger. Krieger jumps back into the box here to face Alegria. Alegria sets that runner at second base, not being held on, taking a few steps off the bag, not too far. Alegria looks over, stares him down. Here's the pitch. And that one comes right back at us. And thank God that chain link fence is working pretty well. Doesn't always work, man. Let me tell you, we've gotten a couple balls in here before. I don't know where it gets through. But that would have took out our music guy. God bless Ezo. 1-2. That reminds me when John Sterling, rest in peace, took one in the Yankee press box. I think it was last year, a couple years ago. It just hit him. He started freaking out. It was great. 2 balls. Yeah, he's like, ow, ow, ow. Let me tell you, if I got hit with a ball, it would not sound like that. I guarantee you. I'd be on the ground probably shaking. 2-2. Again, the intern would have to put the headset on and take over. 2-2. Here's the pitch. And that's popped foul, and the count remains 2-2. So battles continue here late in the ball game with these batters and pitchers going at it. If you're a baseball fan, this is exactly what you want to see, is these guys going hard every single at-bat, every pitch. So Magnus Krieger is the batter, a 2-2 count, nobody out. Runner on second here for the Stallions. Down 10, 20-10 is the score. Top 7, here's the pitch. High and inside. And a full count. So 3 balls and 2 strikes here to Krieger. 2-2 count now to Krieger. Alegria is the pitcher for the Dogs. He sets and looks at the runner twice, and now kicks, winds, and delivers. And strike 3 called. And the batter, Krieger, throws his back because he thought he was going to take a stroll down to first base. And not so fast, my friend. Not so fast.
Second baseman number 20 from Embry-Riddle, Aiden Schmidt.
So here's one of the Schmidt kids, Aiden Schmidt, the second baseman. He's going to come to the plate now with 1 out, runner on second. Cooper Schmidt is on deck. Runner dancing around at second base. Now he's going to head back as Alegria gave him the stare down, and he went back to second base. Crenshaw heads out to the mound. The rest of the infield will come out. The second baseman, the shortstop. So what a ball game we have had today. Definitely entertaining. Lots of home runs. If you like runs, if you like lots of home runs, lots of hits, well, you came to the right place tonight. So we are ready to go. Aiden Schmidt is the batter with 1 out. And runners on first and second here with a 10-run lead for the Dogs in the top of the 7th. 1 out. Here is Aiden Schmidt ready to face Alegria. Alegria looks and winds and delivers, and there's a swing and a miss for strike 1 in the count. 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. So fans who are still listening out there, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking with us tonight. Here's the windup and the pitch. And there's a called strike. Again, an unhappy batter. And the count 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Aiden Schmidt here. Alegria looking for 1 more strike here to bring him down. Alegria looks in. He's going to set, wind, and deliver on the 0-2 here. Here's the pitch, and it is high and inside for a ball, and the count 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here to from Alegria to Schmidt. Again, it's Aiden Schmidt, and on deck is Cooper Schmidt. Runners on first and second. Saugerties down 10, top of the 7th. 1 out here for the Dogs. Here's the pitch. And big swing and a miss. And down goes the first Schmidt. And 1 more needed to end this game here for the Dogs.
Number 10 from Embry-Riddle, Cooper Schmidt.
So here's Cooper Schmidt. So Cooper Schmidt with the runners on first and second. And folks, you heard that right. 1 more out here will end this ball game as the 10-run rule is in effect now here in the top of the 7th. And so here's Alegria against Schmidt. And there is first pitch, strike, and the count 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Now, Schmidt did hit a home run, a grand slam in the park home run. Weird? Yes. Did it happen? Yes. Everything happened tonight. I saw a pig fly up here tonight. No joke. That one's popped up, and the count 0-2. So 1 more here. Can Alegria finish it off here with 1 more strike? So Cooper Schmidt at the plate. As we have seen a little bit of everything here tonight. As I look to Dave, he's the space guy. Dave, what can we see happen in space that we've never seen before? He's speechless. That's the first thing that happened. And that's it. The ball is hit out into center field, and a run scores. And scratch what I just said. We'll continue to play baseball here, folks. So a base hit. And the score now 20-11 with 2 outs. Your space app? I saw. Nice. Is it? Oh, I thought you meant the space. That you have a space blog, right? Yes, if you're interested in space and anything space related, Dave puts out articles about usually things that NASA does that you wouldn't think.
It's NASA. It's not, it's NASA.
NASA. Sorry. What did I say?
They're laying on a beach in Nassau.
And that's Nassau County. And that one is popped up and caught by the shortstop. So we head to the bottom of the 7th. Dogs need a run. And we'll be back after this.
After 6.5 innings, the score.
And we are back. We have a new pitcher on the mound here, Jack O'Connor. So Jack O'Connor now the pitcher for the Stallions here in the bottom of the 7th. So here we go. 20-11 is the score. And let's see what this inning brings here for the Dogs. And we go top of the lineup here with Eric Diaz. Diaz the batter here for the Dogs. There's the windup and pitch. And there's a ball on the count, 1-0 from O'Connor. So 1 ball and no strikes to Diaz. It'll be Diaz, Hard, and Arias all due up in this inning. That one misses for ball 2, and the count now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes here to Diaz. And O'Connor looks in. Diaz taps that hip, ready to go. Here's the pitch. And there's a strike in the count now, 2-1. 2 balls and a strike. Diaz steps out of the box before he steps back in. A few practice cuts before he's ready to go. And O'Connor winds and delivers, and it's popped in the air. The catcher's going for it and makes a sliding catch, and it pops out of his glove. Nice attempt there by the catcher as he slid on the concrete area by the dugout, for the visitors' dugout. A nice attempt there by the catcher there for Saugerties. That is Jaden Tolentino. So Eric Diaz will continue his at bat here for the Dogs. 1-2 count. And not only do we have a good game here, but also a good game in the Stanley Cup Finals. Not going to give it away in case you have your TV on and it's on delay. And that one is fouled off in the count 1-2. I was watching the Stanley Cup Finals on my app one day. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. I was watching the Stanley Cup playoffs on my app one day, and my son was watching it in the other room on his phone, and he knew that the score changed before I saw it. It was not fun. That one has popped up, and this might give him trouble, and it's going to drop in. So that one drops in between the center fielder and left fielder. And a base hit for Diaz to start things off here in the bottom of the 7th. So here's Jake Hard. And Hard, a couple of doubles here tonight. And he's going to come to the plate. And trip to the mound here for the catcher. And a couple of extra baseballs coming into the ball game. So the umpire has a new stash of baseballs ready to go. So Diaz is at first base. Jake Hard at the plate. And Byron Arias is on deck here for the Dogs in the bottom of the 7th. So here is Hard at the plate with nobody out. Bottom 7. And there's a called strike 1 to Hard in the count 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to the right fielder, Jake Hard. There's the windup and pitch by O'Connor. That one misses. Ball 1 and the count 1-1. A ball and a strike. Cheers coming from the dugout of the DiamondDawgs, cheering for their teammate, Hard. Here's the pitch. And ball hit on the ground, and it's going to get through for a base hit. And Diaz stuttered for a second at second base. And now he is at third. And so runners on first and third here for the Dogs.
Number 17 from Dominican University, Byron Arias.
So here's Byron Arias at the plate. Nobody out, bottom 7. 20-11 is the score. And here is Arias at the plate. And infield coming in. And there's a big swing and a miss. Runner steals. And no one's going to pay attention to that with a runner on third. So runners on second and third now. Dogs need that 1 run to come across. Nobody out. Infield is in. Arias at the plate with nobody out. Bottom 7, 20-11 is the score. And there's a called strike. And the count 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. O'Connor ready to go. Here's the pitch. And that one down low. And that is ball 1. So 1 ball, 2 strikes here to Arias. Should he reach, Brody Freaker is on deck. Again, runners on second and third. O'Connor sets, winds, and delivers. And that ball is hit into left field. And it is. And it's on the ground. Doesn't matter. He scores. Game is over. So a base hit ends the ball game for the Dogs. What a game. 21-11. And if we were to give you a recap tonight, I can't even explain it. Home runs, errors, comebacks. It all happened here tonight. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. And thanks for tuning in to DiamondDawgs Baseball. Dogs win this one tonight, 21-11 over the Saugerties Stallions. I'm Pete Pagliaro for Creative Outpost. Have a good night, and we'll see you soon.
Field and we're ready to play. We're all suited up, we got a game today. We're gonna play fast and we're gonna play hard, gonna knock that ball right out of the yard. So don't just sit there like a bump on a log. Let me hear you holler now. Let's go, Dogs! We got a guy on third, nobody out. It's time to stand up, yes, it's time to shout. We're playing some ball and we're having some fun. Come on, boys, let's score that run. So don't just sit there like a bump on a log. Let me hear you holler now. Let's go, Dogs! Field and we're ready to play. We're all suited up, we got a game today. We're gonna play fast and we're gonna play hard, gonna knock that ball right out of the yard. So don't just sit there like a bump on a log. Let me hear you holler now. Let's go, Dogs! 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 Don't just sit there like a bump on a log. Let me hear you holler.